How are you, everyone? Good? You alright? You okay?
How are you, Gary?
Unbelievable.
Why?
Why am I unbelievable? Bruce Springsteen's coming to Manchester next year.
Is he coming here?
Oh, I'd love that. He's going to Anfield.
Well, he's chosen the right place to come here.
I don't see him in Liverpool, being honest with you. Bruce in Liverpool.
You were mentioned a few times the other night at the Legends of Football. Cara did a speech.
Did Cara take the piss?
Wazza mentioned you as well.
What did he say?
He said he prefers Cara to you.
Did he?
No, you mentioned a few times. You should have come.
You had a few drinks, didn't you?
I didn't, you know. I was good. I was on my best behaviour.
Jill was there, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was there. Farrah Williams as well.
How were the Cortinas? Because Cortinas played it.
Do you know what? It's mad, this. Because no one down south appreciates how good they are.
No,
I was like, they're massive, aren't they?
Yeah, brilliant.
Like in Manchester, Liverpool, they're huge.
Yeah.
Down south, they didn't know who they were. I was like, expecting people to get up and start dancing and couldn't believe it. I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah, no, very good.
How are you? Nice, nice, nice. Nice, 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 nice. See it, yeah. Oh, bad man time, bad man there.
I do like.
Have you had your half an hour to yourself?
I like winter clothes. Who prefers winter clothes rather than summer clothes?
I do.
It's not winter.
It is
Jesus,
winter.
beautiful.
It's winter. It should be winter.
That's life. Oh, I told
Late
you.
November.
Do you like them? Do you go to the pictures a lot? Do you like them? Cinema. Have you seen Joker yet? The second one.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Joker.
Hey.
It's not getting good reviews though, is it?
Hey, brilliant. I'm giving you the review.
Yeah, but that's what I'm taking it off of you. That's what I'm saying. I can't wait to see it. I never listen to the reviews.
Joker's the one that Batman, you mean?
Yeah. Go and see it. Brilliant.
People are saying it's like a musical, eh?
I wouldn't go that far. No.
See, that's what I'm saying. People are over the top.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying it's like a musical, but if you've got someone like Joaquin Phoenix in the film, people.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Can't be bad. You know what I mean? What you got? Earl Grey or normal?
I'm not sure. Earl Grey must be. No.
No, no Earl Grey. What's that? Where's Kedge? Is he about?
Yeah. So go and see it.
I'm going to see it tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that Penguin.
Yeah, Penguin's brilliant,
Is it?
bro.
It looks good.
Colin Farrell is brilliant. That's a really right from the off with the Penguin.
Yeah.
It's just devious. Yeah. It's just devious, man. It's brilliant. What's happening,
Makeup
Jill?
woman said, "Are you going nude?" I was like, "What? What do you meant my lipstick?"
Oh, wow.
I thought we were doing a naked episode or something.
A naked episode?
Yeah, apparently.
I'll get some viewers in there.
Did you put it in the mix, Jill? Thanks, man.
How are we all?
Yeah, good.
We're good, Jill.
What's happening, Jill? You good?
Yeah, good. I'm blaming being at Wayne's Legends.
Hey,
dinner
Wayne,
for
yeah.
having no
Congratulations.
voice today.
I think
Wayne and Farrah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
that's a hangover voice. That.
Can you hear her
That was
deep
2
voice? It
days
sounds
ago.
quite sexy, Jill.
Exactly. That's the 2 days after when it actually kicks in and the throat starts to go.
No, I only had a couple of Proseccos.
Proseccos.
You don't have to go to every dinner you're invited to.
What?
You don't have to go to every dinner you're invited to.
I know, but it's nice to
nice,
support,
certainly is.
like, obviously Farrah.
It was for Wayne, though.
Yeah, you should have went for me.
It was for
Nobody
Wayne
came
and
to my
Farrah,
dinner.
Gary. It was
Nobody
for
came
Wayne
to my
and
dinner.
Farrah.
I know.
Wayne and
I feel
Farrah.
like that really hurts you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Lads never turned up. So.
Did you
But
go?
then there's a picture of me at...
Oh, you were there representing the PAV or something.
Nobody went to
No one
support
took
her.
from Annie, then.
Yeah, exactly.
What's been happening, Gal? What have you been doing?
Not a lot, really. Not seen you two, but you had a week off, haven't you? A couple of weeks off.
Just kind of like chilled, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just chilled.
I went to the American football Sunday.
What was it like?
Brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Where was it over here?
Yeah, down at Spurs.
Yeah.
The Jets. Yeah, brilliant. Really good day.
Did your
Stadium.
team win?
No,
No.
Who won?
Vikings.
I'm going
Good
on
deal.
Sunday. I'll probably be
Yeah, you'll have a
up
great
with
day.
the birds.
No, you'll have a great day. Which game are you going to?
I don't know, just NFL.
You're just going.
On Sunday.
You just
Yeah,
go
but
and
I've never been to Tottenham Stadium and I do like the NFL.
Oh, you love it, yeah.
Oh, it is a great stadium.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
If you've got a weekend off, come along.
Yeah.
You won't have a weekend off, you'll be in America.
I'm going to the Lakes with Emma.
Hey, nice one.
Very nice.
Seen her once in 6 months.
See you
I'll
once
take
in
you to
6
the lakes, you tight bastard. You've been America, everything. I'll take you to Windermere.
How long are you going from?
2 days. Friday, Saturday, back Sunday.
You're so lucky.
2 days is enough.
I actually think it's, I mean, to be fair...
2 days?
2 days is loads.
Are you going to be on your
Just the
phone?
two of you
Are
with
you
the
going to be on the
kids?
phone all the time,
No, I
Gal?
don't-
Because that's pointless.
I don't go on the
otherwise.
phone after 6 o'clock at night. I don't go on the phone, and then weekends I'm on.
So 6 o'clock. So she's got to wait from the morning till 6 o'clock at night for you to get off the phone. Then
I don't mean at the weekend.
Jesus, that's why when I saw her, I just went. I hugged her like that because I know what she's going through. Yeah.
It must be tough living with you.
It must be tough, huh?
Reckon?
Yeah.
I think, Gal, it feels tough.
That'd be tough, that.
Yeah.
I bet you're great.
I'm easy, I'm chilled.
I can see it.
Are you bringing your kids with you?
No. One of them's doing it's called D.A.V, where they do the sort of like the week where they trek in.
Yeah,
stuff.
of course, yeah. That's good for them, yeah.
Yeah.
The other one's playing netball.
Oh.
Gal, you can't do after 6 o'clock. Just give her some time, bro.
No, I do. So after 6 o'clock at night, the phone goes off.
You go walking and hiking and all that.
He's in bed
He's
at
on the
7.
phone.
He's in bed at 7.
She gets an hour. She gets an hour of Gary time.
She has a narrow window.
Oh, she's...
38 minutes because I've 22 minutes for my tea.
And Jamie, why is Jamie not here? Because his wife's doing the marathon.
Yeah.
She's doing 6 marathons.
Six
Yeah,
marathons.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she's done 2 already. I think she's done Chicago and Berlin.
And is he just going to these places and
Doing
just not running?
Tokyo as well, or something?
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
doing
'cause
it. Yeah.
he's missing
Chicago, she's doing.
He's done Chicago, I
Oh, she's
think.
done that one.
And she's literally gone from one to another.
Well, apparently
Yeah.
there's 6 marathons in the world, as in like sort of 6 key marathons, like main marathons, and she wanted to do all 6 in 1 year. That's the sort of achievement.
And Jamie's
All
just
right,
going...
over the whole year, right? That's all right.
Jamie's just going for a holiday while she does the marathon.
Support as well.
You don't treat your women right. He's a terrible.
Yeah.
You're always in Plymouth. You're okay.
Thanks, John.
And you're okay.
Thanks.
But we're not.
You're not going to Salford on Saturday?
Last Saturday?
No, this Saturday. Are you going to win?
No, I'm away. Are you going to Salford this Saturday?
Probably, yeah.
What were they like last Saturday?
The game wasn't great.
No, that's the first game I've missed for a long time.
It wasn't great, but it was a good win.
Yeah.
One bit of quality was a goal. The game was poor.
Who were they playing?
That's it. Nicola.
But it was
Nicola's
that bit of
raising
quality.
money for. Was it? Older. Is it? Yeah, I'm getting this right.
All day
Older
hospital.
Hales.
brilliant.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
good.
We'll have
So
to.
that's what she's doing it for. But
Well, we should make a donation to
Definitely.
her then.
She's that's unbelievable.
You make it on behalf of all of us.
Right, tell Roy to go in. People say that, Roy. I don't know if it's
That's-
because. Is it something you'd consider?
I just think it looks chaotic, doesn't
What do
it?
you
the club?
consider?
I'm not leaving you, Righty.
The lack of desire when you watch them play is crazy.
I don't recognise this team. I don't recognise the club.
With Chris Wood up there as at focal point.
Jesus,
starting to look a
steady on. Jesus, Forrest.
They build them from the top, but what about the style of play of the football? If you build a house, you don't start with a loft.
Where they are in the league at the moment is stark.
Yeah.
You can't allow that. It'd be crazy that if you could do anything you want.
You've got to create something.
Yeah, but where are they going to get it from, Roy? Who's going to turn around if it's not someone like
You have to
yourself?
find it from somewhere.
Yeah, but you're the person that should be doing that.
Is he on
want something
10%?
to do.
Welcome to Stick to Football, brought to you by Skybet. This week I'm joined by Wayne Rooney, the Plymouth manager, Jill Scott, Roy Keane, Andy and Wright, and we're going to be talking all things Manchester United. We're going to be talking about Wayne's start as a manager at Plymouth, and we're going to talk about Manchester City. What was Legends of Football like? Was it?
Yeah, it was right. Good night.
Good.
Yeah.
That Karen made a beautiful speech.
What's that dinner about? What is that a new thing? This legend? No, has that been going on for years?
No, it's been going.
Is it Nordoff Robbins one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nordoff Robbins. You're the
Nordoff
music
Robbins.
where they raise money for the music charity.
All right.
That's the Nordoff Robbins.
You were inducted last year, weren't
and
you?
Emma.
Yeah.
Me and Emma Hayes.
You will have been asked.
You probably would have been asked. As well.
Yeah.
You probably...
When you said it's been going for years, like 5, 10 or
Oh, no,
20,
no.
30
longer,
years?
yeah.
Long,
Yeah.
oh, right.
20 years, yeah.
Was it that long?
It's
Yeah.
using
Don't you-
music to help kids.
Of course, yes, brilliant. I
learn.
don't think
It's
I've really
unbelievable
heard about
charity.
it.
Yeah,
Good
it's
stuff.
unbelievable charity.
It was a good night, though, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a good night.
Really
Yeah.
good.
They like it for Farah as well. It's brilliant.
Did you have to do a speech and all that, or were you interviewed, or did you just...
I done done a speech.
Right.
And then done Q&A after.
Did you have to read? I'm serious, or were you just chatting off
I
the
didn't know. I
cuff?
didn't have a clue what I was going to say before I got up.
But you done the same, obviously, last year.
Yeah,
You
just
must have cried, obviously. No?
Well, that's the kind of guy I am.
I know
I'm an
that.
emotional
That's what I'm
guy.
saying.
So
That's good.
at the end of the day, it was very emotional because, people are giving you love. It's hard when people are just blasting it on you like that.
You spoke so well, though. He had, the room in tears. What did they ask you about What song got you up for football games? What did you say?
Oh, so I used to get on the massage bed for like 10 minutes before I go out.
You loved the massage, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
About an hour before the game, yeah.
You gigsy.
No chance. Yeah, we were 10 years older than you.
We'll get
And so I used to put Susan Boyle on. So just like relax me and carry me. You know, I was
Some
like in the
opera.
test room, I was like all over the place. So that was like me 10 minutes. Put Susan Boyle on and just.
Yeah, but when I
But
used
not on speak in your own, just in your
yeah,
own.
when I used to
right.
leave, when I used to leave to go to Arsenal, I always started with classical music, and then you build up to like Firestarter by the time you get to the ground. But I always started with classical music.
And why did you stay with that? It might have stopped
Because
you getting
like
sent off.
no, I didn't get sent off.
You used to smash up referees' rooms up.
Yeah, but that was like stages. Yeah.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Skybet. This show is sponsored by Huel. Back in my playing days at United and England, our meal plans were strict, but getting proper nutrition on the move wasn't always easy, especially when I was rushing home from training or travelling to a match. I wish I'd had something like Huel back then. Huel is a game changer. Take this Black Edition ready to drink. It's formulated by nutritionists to be the ultimate meal on the go. It's perfect if, like me, you're always short on time, but you want something better than unhealthy snacks or fast food. With Huel's Black Edition, you get 35 grams of protein, 26 essential vitamins and minerals, and over 170 health benefits packed all into one bottle. And the best way to find out how well it works, try Huel's Taster Bundle. You'll get a range of their products like this and decide which one's best for you. My favourite is definitely the vanilla. So if you're an athlete, a professional, or just want a healthier option when you're on the move, give the Taster Bundle a go. Join the millions who love Huel and unlock your offer now at huel.com/theoverlap. That's huel.com/theoverlap. You got sent off at weekend, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Oh, a little fine coming your way.
I saw it on the news.
Do you get fined when you actually get
Yeah,
sent
you
off?
will.
Of course you do.
Who off the club?
The FA,
no, yeah,
yeah.
FA.
Oh, the FA.
How much would you get fined?
Blackburn, it was clear foul and they've all missed it.
Allegedly.
And they've scored.
Allegedly.
No,
No,
it
no.
was.
It was.
Saw the
Right.
game, yeah.
So they've all missed it. And they've
They've
scored
all
six off
missed
it.
it.
Oh,
So I've had
Your Honour.
fourth official.
but you swore at him, basically.
Yeah, and I booted the water bottle, but accidentally hit one of our fans.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
That's what I did at Everton when I kicked the ball
Yeah.
back in the thing.
Was you watching in the tunnel after that? Because
Yeah.
because the goal was late, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was in the tunnel, yeah.
So would you get
I
suspended?
tried to Vengo and I tried to just go in the stand.
And they said, get out.
And then, so I was in the tunnel when we scored, yeah.
Could you get suspended as well, do you think?
Yeah.
If you're suspended, what happens? You just literally
Lose a couple.
Sit in the
can't
stand.
go
Sit in
to
the
the
stand,
so
you'd
you're
have to
still
get
there.
warm,
You'll be warmer.
The same, don't it? It would be strange, wouldn't it, if
Yeah.
you're sitting up?
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've been sent off? Or
Yeah.
were you sent off earlier?
No, first time,
No,
yeah.
first time. What's it
First
like?
of many.
It was a tough start, wasn't it? First few games.
First game.
4-0.
Yeah. It's one of them where you stood there thinking, what am I doing? Yeah, but the lads have been great since, to be fair to them. Been really good.
What's the expectation when it would it be like just
to
survive again?
Finish the
simple
point.
as that?
We finished a point above the relegation zone last season, and then just to try and keep improving
Right.
over the next
It
2
looks
or 3
at
years.
the moment, yeah.
But they're not daft. They're not thinking top
Yeah,
half
no,
yet or anything like
reasonable. We know what our expectations
Right. It's
are.
looking good at the
and
minute, huh?
Trying to gradually turn
Must
it
be
up.
tough for you to say, yeah, but like it's looking good, huh? With a couple.
No, they've been good. We've made some good signings. Lads have been really good. Pre-season helped, obviously, having the pre-season with them. So
You know what was so annoying? That first game, obviously, it was a big defeat and it was all over social media. And then I remember a few games in, I was like, I wonder how Wayne's doing. And I couldn't find anything. And because you were winning, they like weren't putting stuff out there. Like, do you feel that sometimes that they like come for you a little
it's
bit?
bigger than when you lose, and that's obviously you've had it as well. When you lose a game as manager, the headlines are bigger, aren't they?
Yeah.
So.
And your week's nicer when you win, is it?
Oh, it's
amazing, isn't it?
especially now, like going into the international break.
Oh, every manager's
beautiful.
desperate for that win before the 2 weeks.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Did you see Ange on Sunday after the game when he was stood in the middle of the pitch?
Yeah,
just
that was
staring
horrible
into
to
space?
watch, yeah.
It was excruciating,
That
that.
was horrible, because that's a half of football he didn't see coming.
Yeah, but the way in which he was stood there just staring,
Yeah.
and I thought, it's all like time stood still. I thought,
Yeah, it's horrible to see.
That's a sore.
I don't know where that
He's
came
got
from.
that into the international break.
Yeah.
I know.
And you start questioning everything that you're doing, the training, players you have, the characters you have. Even if they're drawn the game, You take something away for that break and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, but surely, Roy, as a manager, but when you look in, that first half performance was brilliant. But then, how do you prepare for a capitulation like that in the second?
No, you don't, right? There's no way you would have seen that coming. That's why the shocks afterwards. I bet you'd be thinking, for all his experience, he's a vastly experienced manager, and he's had highs and lows. I bet you after that game, he's still thinking, who could have seen this coming?
What would you say in the dressing room there? Would you go in and what would you say? Do you know what you'd say? What would you say, Ray? What would you say, guys? Because like you've come from...
No, come on.
What did you say after the 4-0 in the first game? It's his first game, so you can't go too hard. But what were your thoughts?
Initially, initially I was calm and obviously told them what I felt. It weren't good enough. And you can lose games. That's going to happen. But the way we lost the game, we didn't have enough energy. We didn't put enough tackles in. We weren't aggressive enough. So said I'm not accepting that.
I'm not happy with that.
But when did that bad win?
But then I messed up a little bit as well on that because I played too many of the new players.
Right.
So new signings we brought in from Europe. You're playing at Hillsborough, big atmosphere, first game of the season.
Yeah.
So a few days later, when we done another team meeting, I said that to the players. I think with my team selection, I should have, gradually.
Do you realise that instantly afterwards as well? I played too many there. Should have not.
I think, and that's where, because pre-season we'd done okay. Yeah. So then you're going into it and you're thinking, okay, but then.
Yeah, but when you have a game like that, do you know, sometimes you have to just write it off. Don't overthink it. Go, listen, we had new lads. They're still settling into the club and write it off. Because you're going, when you're playing in the Championship, you are going to lose a lot of football matches. I know there's ways to lose it, but part of you is going to just move on quickly.
So you blamed the players to the press, and then in the meeting, said it was you.
That's what you do, Julia.
I said this as well. My responsibility, obviously. So, that was It was a hard day, though.
You've had some good, last-minute goals, haven't you? Which I think shows good team spirit, doesn't it?
Even the games we've lost, so this 5-game period we had after the last international break, we had Burnley, West Brom, Luton, Stoke and Blackburn. Not Stoke.
Sunderland.
Sunderland. So we picked up 9 points from it. But the two we lost was Burnley and West Brom away. 1-0 and we were in the game. We should have got something out of it, really. So competing, it's been good.
Yeah, but then the games you won have been tight as well. Yeah. That's just going to be that roller coaster you're on, isn't it?
So we've created a lot of chances. So we should have been 3 or 4 up against Blackburn. So we just need to be a bit more clinical.
What's the difference in you that you feel? Obviously, I know Birmingham. Obviously, you've spoke about that on here. But what's the difference that you feel now in you? Do you feel more experienced, more mature, better for it?
Yeah, and I think I'm coaching more as well. So I think what happened at Birmingham obviously was difficult, but. So now I've come into it, I'm obviously like to class myself as a manager, but I'm actually doing a lot more coaching, which I think is... Is
that something you decided to do after Birmingham that you thought, take more responsibility?
Yeah, I think that because I've still left a lot of the coaching to me coaches in the 3 previous clubs, but I've been doing a lot more myself. And because I didn't have a under-18 team, I didn't have a reserve team I went straight from player into management.
Yeah.
So I think the first 3 ones is probably me learning the coaching side of it as well.
I said that about Valencia, by the way. Do you know the one thing that I remember was it's actually hard to put on a tactical session when you've not done tactical sessions before. I found it really difficult. And I'd done obviously my coaching badges up to my pro, but because I didn't have those hundreds of hours of putting the sessions on and practice, you feel like you need eyes in the back of your head when you're doing an 11v11 or a big... It's like, what's going on here? Do you feel like a lot...
Yeah, so I used to stand behind the defenders, and then so I could see everything, and then I'd step in and out. But I think now I'm doing quite a lot more of it, and
you're in
the middle, So
I
think that makes a difference.
It's just learning. You're just learning all the time. That's what it is. You're an experienced manager. You're going to make mistakes. We see the great managers making mistakes. That's just the journey you're on, isn't it? The ups and downs, and you got to learn. Be more hands-on. There'll be time to step back as well, and let your coaches take a session and have a bit of a breather. Yeah, good stuff.
The players do want to hear though from the manager, don't they? Do want to hear from the main man now, don't they? They don't want to. I think it's a different mentality. We never had. Obviously, you played at United. He never did a session. Yeah. You never heard from him during the week in terms of tactical stuff. But the manager, they seem to now want to hear from the head coach, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do, and I think so. The small side of the games, we do a lot. I think a lot of coaches now have gone away from them, which I think is crazy. But so all that, the little possessions, the coaches obviously do all that, and they can obviously just stand back a little bit, and then the tactical stuff is what you need to come alive.
What you need to do.
You said, Wayne, about doing doing extra? Are you allow the players to do extra afterwards if they want to go and do shooting and stuff? Because, you know, they're allowed to do it.
So that's where your relationship with the fitness coaches is important, really. But ultimately, you know, I always say, we've done it for hours.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop a player training after where you were.
It's a bit more structured now, so we have the individual development plans with them, where after training we might say, right, you four are doing this, you four are doing this with different coaches, so it's a bit more
I'm just talking like, you just like, as a striker, you just finish and you say, I'm just taking them balls, I'm just going to smash them. You can do that as well, don't you? Nice.
You always get told
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you do get told to go in though, don't you, by the sport scientists? Like, you've got a tough week this week, but you only want to like take some penalties or...
The only thing that used to frustrate me, just you're on about strikers there, you'd have a game, you might have a 9v9, 10v, 11v11, and some of the strikers don't even get shots, so the game's finished, then they say, can I do a bit of finishing? And you go, no, the game was for you to get some finish, as if they're saving themselves for the end of the session. You know, and you go, this is where we want you finishing and get your intensity and shots away. That's the bit with... That's where you've got to be careful.
But Roy,
it's the day before a game and...
Yeah, but you can't get the repetition of what you...
I get that. Listen,
in them games.
Of course, but not when they're not even getting a shot away in training, righty. Listen, all the top goal scorers still love scoring in training, but not where they're almost saving themselves for the bit at the end. No, do it. That bit at the end is the bonus, not the other way around, where that's your main training.
But if you can't get through 10 shots at the end of a session, how are you going to play 90 minutes? Do you know what I mean? If you can't do a bit extra.
Yeah, but the problem is, again, when you've staff and fitness coaches...
monitored, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, you can overanalyse everything. The fitness coaches are keeping an eye and go, no, let him get on with it.
Imagine you
overthinking
that. For players now, don't understand, we've pulled players out of the session because they've done a bit, and we've got players who've done more high intensity, who struggle to recover from it, so you'll pull them out and then you see them on the side, the fitness coach doing runs. What's the point?
It's so true.
How many players have you ever seen pull the thigh having shots after a training session? I mean, in 15, 20 years, I don't think I ever saw one player. I know sometimes strikers get, God, you've done enough now. They've just done an hour of sprinting, turning, twisting, all the things they've done. 10, 15 shots, as Jill's just said. I never saw one player get injured after the training session.
No, but it's something that could happen, especially if you stop for a bit, then you start up again.
Maybe if you stop.
You know what I mean?
But I've not seen
it. I've not seen it.
Fridays I get it before a game, day before a game, where you want to try and conserve energy. But I think during the week.
And the thing is that when I like used to, I'm not talking about taking 3 or 4 steps sprinting into it. Talking 2 steps in and just you're just trying to get a muscle memory kind of action going. It's not blasting it.
Roy Hodgson hated it. He wouldn't let them do the shooting session at the edge of the box after training. I don't know if you remember, because we used to say, do you know, basically what would happen is you'd have a ball 20 yards out, 25 yards out, you pass it in some guy at the edge of the box, the goalkeeping coach, he'd tap it back and then you'd shoot. And he used to say, strikers, how many times do strikers get a chance like that ever in a match whereby it's rolled back to them at the edge of the box to shoot? They always are. They get into them sort of like reacting inside the box, 6-yard box, little glances. Yeah. He's right on that. So he said they're just they're doing things that they would never get in a match. Why are they doing it? So midfield players, he understood a little bit because they would come on to ones at the edge of the box, but strikers doing it, which...
I used to do it with Erik Steele. I used to go off with him with one of the keepers, and we'd do like little blocks of 6, so it'd be playing the ball into him, and then he'll play behind them, just little turns and spin.
So more realistic.
Little balls across, little one-time finishes.
I'd love to know the stats of one-touch finishes now.
Finishing, stuff like that, which...
It's the highest level, it must be 70%, do you reckon?
I'd say so.
The strikers? Yeah. Maybe even higher.
If I was doing it now with the strikers, I'd do that stuff in and around the 6-yard box. I remember I used to do one where... It's funny, George Graham used to do it. I'd be in the middle of the 6-yard box, no goalkeeper, and he's just frightened. I just got a volley into the back of the net.
Yeah.
We used to do that as well.
You know what I mean? And then he'll say, volley him into that side, whip it into that side. So, but none of it can't be mishit. So what I liked about those sessions is it's about the basics. So you're in the area and you're making sure that in this moment, the muscle memory, you're doing the right basic to get the proper strike off. That's the kind of finishing I liked.
I think it may have been like Tony Coulton or Erik Steele. They put 2 benches like on angles in the goals, and the striker would face them. They'd play it against the benches. They had to turn, and he would bounce back off the bench, and they had to react and sort of put it into the net, you know, off the reaction. I used to think they were quite good. They're the type of ones. Ollie's goal in the 99 final. It's just a reaction, isn't it?
Bam Bam, he's told. Yeah. It's a great goal.
Do you know something? Set pieces were a thing 25 years ago that some teams used to work on a lot. But like, let's say, I'm going to say Sam Allardyce or Tony Pulis, they were almost like ridiculed, weren't they, for working a lot on set pieces, if you remember. And we never used to do a lot of work on set pieces. I almost look at every team now and I think, You must have practiced that for like a long time. Like Arsenal's set pieces and the Villa one. I mean, the Villas were terrible at the weekend, I know, but just generally, they must practice now for half an hour. How long do you practice? Do you do a lot on set pieces?
Yeah, both in possession and out of possession, yeah. So it's...
When do you do it, Thursday or Friday?
Friday. We'll do it, yeah.
After the training?
Session, so we'll finish with the set pieces. They're so important. The amount of games which are won or lost on set pieces still is huge.
Have you got a set piece coach?
So one of the coaches does it, yeah, and then I come in, I have some weird ideas on it, because I always think, so I've had, so the Arsenal one, which they scored against, I'd done that 4 years ago.
The one where they all stand behind the goal?
I'd done that 4 years ago,
right.
Against Middlesbrough, we scored from it. And then there's one where I've every corner of the box, I've had a player, and then...
Corner of the 6-yard box?
No, corner of the box.
The 18-yard box?
I've had a player, then 3 in the D, and then on the signal, the old sprint, goes to the 6-yard box.
Kamikaze business.
But I think if you're a defender, you've got them coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolute torture, so you nearly scored from it at the weekend. So.
But the key for any set piece is delivery.
Yeah.
For or against you. If someone puts in a good ball against you, as soon as, when you're sitting on the dugout, you're defending, and as soon as it leaves his foot, you're like, oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Delivery's key. Delivery's key. You mentioned all these clubs you've done well, and even when we played, Bexing, all these boys were putting great balls in.
I think, was it true that did Chelsea pay for a Brentford's set piece coach last week or sign it?
Liverpool, was it?
Was it Liverpool or Brentford? Someone's like paid for like
to get him out of there.
To get him out of there. Yeah. They are annoying me a little bit, the set piece coaches, when they're out on the sort of touchline, everything. A little bit, but just...
One got
Villa guy was loving it the other day, wasn't he?
One got sacked
Villa guy was
this week,
loving
didn't
it.
he?
The margins, bro.
They sacked the set piece coach, didn't they?
Who did?
Was it Wolves?
Yeah, Wolves.
Was it?
Oh.
Because they've conceded in the last, 5 games or something, 5 set pieces, so they've sacked him.
Yeah.
It's about players wanting to go and head the ball as well. So it's all about delivery.
I did the Wolves game week last Saturday against Liverpool, and I actually watched the Wolves game on Saturday against Brentford, and they conceded from open play crosses.
Yeah.
The Canati goals from a sort of second phase. The goal on Saturday, the first goal in the first minute.
Yeah.
Oh, Wolves against Brentford?
Yeah.
Oh, the last goal was a corner, wasn't it?
No, but the first one that they conceded in the first minute was a header from an open play.
That was Collins, yeah.
Yeah.
Collins.
So did they sack the other?
I think it's a bit harsh,
It's
though.
harsh, that's
we're
but then if you're
struggling, get rid of
but
the
obviously
set
there's
piece.
the attacking ones, if they don't look good, try to attack, it's obviously it works both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you brought in purely for the set pieces, if you're not doing well on it, then...
But what you see now when managers, a goal does go in from the set pieces, managers now turning around looking at their staff and giving the old thumbs up, and the kind of coaching kids giving them. That's your job,
That
you know what I mean?
is so true.
United brought a set piece coach in 2.5 years ago,
That's
and they
right.
scored from a corner for 35 games or something.
But if your goalkeeper's doing crap, you don't
I don't
sack
know.
the
True
coach,
enough,
do you?
yeah.
That's the thing. You don't sack the goalkeeper coach, do you?
No, but some do. Well, yeah, some do.
I think it's blame.
What? United changed. Did they change their goalkeeper coach?
I think they changed. I think you just said he's gone to the MLS, did you? I don't know who this
Well, they've
guy
changed
was.
a few.
No, that was the set piece coach, wasn't it?
They've changed a few coaching stuff, and that's made a huge difference.
But after...
Well, De Gea brought his own goalie coach in with him, didn't he?
Did he?
Oh, he did, yeah.
Did he?
What, his own goalkeeper coach?
Yeah, no,
Wow.
no,
And he could train at the training ground, or was
That
it?
was when Erik Steele left, was it?
Yeah.
But that's the problem as well with goalkeeper. I remember I tried to sign a player years ago when I was at Sunderland, and part of the deal he wanted to bring his own goalkeeping coach because he had him at the club, and they become mates, you see, and they play golf together and all that. And I said no, and he said, what? No, I did it. And he said, I want to. And I went, no, I've already got a really good goalkeeper coach. And sometimes actually it'd be good for you to have a different voice to hear. And he went, no, and I went, yeah, we're not doing the deal. He wants to bring his goalkeeping coach with him. So that's the other issue you have with goalkeepers. They become mates with people.
Yeah, but bro, so you didn't sign him off for the back of that?
No, because I had a really good goalkeeping coach. Why would I bring another goalkeeping coach?
You can't undermine your goalkeeper and sack him just because a goalkeeper wants to bring another
You're
goalkeeper
interested in the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Surely the
I know,
goalkeeper.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in his. I'm not
Get rid of
interested in his coach.
Seriously, if he wants to bring his own goalkeeping coach in and you've got one there, you can't sack your goalkeeping coach.
So you're saying I should have brought him because he had
Yeah, because you liked him in the first place. You should have got rid of the goalkeeper coach.
Oh, no.
Bring this guy in, yeah.
You're being childish. No. You're not being serious, are you?
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Skybet. This episode of Stick to Football is in association with Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance by checking Allstate first. It's always smart to check first, and I've learned the hard way with this. The times I've not checked the weather before sitting on the gantry, commentating on an evening game on a cold night and wishing I'd brought my gilet. Or those times we celebrate a little too easy and VAR pops up afterwards and you think, oh no. Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. I don't think any of you have been on telly in the last, obviously from the Tottenham game right the way through from Porto to Villa.
I'm trying to remember.
So yeah, I don't think you've been on television since then.
No.
Yeah, so
You've seen them.
FC20, have we been on since that?
I'm not sure, but Porto definitely not, and Tottenham and Villa definitely not. So what do you make of them?
Are we supposed to be surprised? Because we're having the same conversations every couple of weeks. They're not good enough. They're too open. Don't score enough goals. So what's happened the last week or two? Is that the norm now? Then there's pressure on the manager. He needs a result next week. It's just.
I was there at the Tottenham game. I went to the Tottenham game, and that's as bad as I've seen at Old Trafford for a long, long time.
I thought it was. I said that was disgusting, which is probably a step too far. But I thought it was.
Listen, the sending off didn't help certainly, but even I go back
before the sending off.
Yeah, but I even go to the FC the 20 game, and then when the players came out after the match, I think it was Erik said again a really poor game, and oh my goodness. And when players are coming out going, I think they might have wanted it more than us.
That was Eriksson, yeah.
I know it was. I kind of gave up at that stage. If that's the noise that's coming out of the dressing room, then no wonder the manager's in trouble. No wonder they're not going to win football matches. That's it. But that's where United are. It's hit and miss. They'll win a few games, but they're going to lose plenty. That's it. They're just too open. They're not athletic. They don't score enough goals. I'm not sure there's a team there. Let's go back to that. I'd love to know what the culture is at the training ground. Who's putting demands on each other? Who's pushing each other? Who's helping the younger players? Are the senior players proper when they're 1-0 up against FC20, get the job done instead of a player coming out afterwards going, I think they might have wanted a bit more than us.
What did you make at the weekend of him leaving out De Ligt and Martinez?
Well, he's been chopping and changing that even during games, but that seems to be the norm now, doesn't it? He doesn't stick with his settle back four. He'll obviously maybe see on the back there the tough game in Europe, but surely part of the demands of playing for any big club is that you can play 2 or 3 games a week and cope with it.
I think all of us around this table have got sympathy for managers because obviously we all see it from a sort of you are a manager. But obviously the Manchester United board met yesterday in London and...
How do we... Why is all that news coming out about United where they're meeting?
I mean, they were always meeting there, but just generally on
why should we know all that stuff? How is that all getting out in the media?
It was in the media, but it was in the media from last week. There was a board meeting planned.
They said that meeting was already planned though, didn't they?
They did,
so then if they just heightened the attention around it, because they're saying, is he going to be there after this international break? He's going to be there, isn't he? I think if it's a change, will it be Christmas? Or do you think he'll get the season?
I think it depends, obviously, what's on results, but I think something needs to change. And I'm not saying that's purely the manager, but the performances and the lack of desire when you watch them play is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, where they are in the league at the moment is stark.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a couple of £100 million spent. There's been £620 million spent in the last 2.5 years.
Most of them on the bench, weren't they, the other day?
Yeah.
And then you're relying on Harry Maguire against Porto, but then
If you're going back to Harry Maguire, you are in trouble.
But I think he always has the right attitude. Do you know what
Jill.
I mean? No, but he does. Like, he come on in that game. He come on in that game. They needed him. The Porto
See
game
the goal.
looked like...
But just look at his defending for the equaliser at FC20. Just look at him. Forget everybody else.
Yeah.
Just look at him for that goal. And if you think he's the answer, the problem is United...
No, I don't think he's the answer, but I do think he
But you can't keep going back to Maguire and Eriksson. So they've gone back to... For the last few years, they're saying they need recruitment. They made lots of changes. They get rid of Fred. They get rid of McTominay. They make changes. Centre-halves, Maguire. But no, they've gone back to... Maguire and Eriksson have been back in the team the last few weeks. So you've gone back to the lads who are part of the problem. I'm not saying just on their own, of course not. But if you think Maguire's the answer...
But the new lads aren't the answer either.
Yeah, but the new lads need a chance. They need to get a couple of games, a couple of months to build up relationships, play games where they get used to each other. I'm not saying
that's why I was surprised on Sunday of De Ligt and Martinez.
Gary, over the last few months, he's took him off during games of 20 minutes ago. He's brought in that's what he does, the manager, and he's pretty stubborn. That's part of being a manager. You have to be stubborn.
But do you think, like Jill says, do you think he gets till Christmas?
I don't know. I don't know. You probably know better than anybody. You said the board meeting. I'm sure clubs have board meetings all the time. I'm sure they're constantly discussing the manager and recruitment and staff or whatever. But United was always, to me, about like good people and good characters and people who could play for Man United and deal with it. But I don't see that now. I don't recognise this team. I don't recognise the club. Everyone a couple of months ago said they've got new people coming on board. They'll have all the answers. More money on recruitment, and United are going backwards. They're chopping and changing. They're getting rid of everybody in the background, which is fine. There's a business side to it. We know that. But no, when we're discussing Man United, it's more like a business than a football club. Football club is about people and good people who turn up and put a shift in, and who are good, honest people. Because we all work in sport, we work in different environments. It's about working with good people. And what I see at Man United, after stepping back a little bit, and it might be harsh, I'm not sure I'm seeing proper football and people, and they're making the right decision for the club. It's more of a business thing. You're having board meetings. Everyone seems to know about these board meetings. Why can't they have these meetings without anybody knowing about them or where they are? You can't tell me they can't find a nice little hotel in the lakes or somewhere? No, I'm serious. Why do we know all this?
I've got one on Saturday.
No, but why do we know all this information?
Yeah.
Why is this public knowledge? I'm sure
I think sometimes the meetings are put into to show that they're actually
of course.
talking about. So normally you do it at the stadium when you're at the training ground normally.
Yeah.
That's my point. They're putting it out there so people go,
just to
all
see
these people who are making a decision
Yeah.
making. And you see them all at the match, you see them all lined up, you see Ferguson, all these people still hanging around. And people are wondering, going, when's it going to change?
Gal, what do you think, Gal? You're on the inside of it, man.
I'm not on the inside of
You
it.
feel like you're on the inside
No,
of it.
I'm not. I went on Monday to meet them about the regeneration side.
So they never spoke about anything else
Not
on the
at all.
side? You wouldn't tell me even if they did?
Not at all. Not at all discussed the football side. I went in with a couple of other members of the regeneration task force and basically spoke about that.
Well, can I ask you something? When could that really be finished? Because that's a bit of a distraction for people. Go, oh, the new stadium's going to be amazing. What about? Listen, we talk about football all the time about the future. What about the now? What about what's going to happen with this team?
The stadium, to be honest with you, it'll take years. That will take years.
But they talk like 5 to 10 years, obviously.
Probably 5 years, but,
Right.
but it's going to take that level of time, irrespective of. At least they've started it. To be honest with you, which is my main concern, is that at least there is a.
And that's great, and that's fantastic.
But that, to be honest with you, shouldn't interfere with the football side. That's something that should twin track.
But that's a little PR every now and then that comes out. Look what they're trying to do. Going, I know, but
no, I think I felt passionately about the stadium being developed. I felt strongly that the training ground had fallen behind. I think Manchester United should have the best facilities and the best stadium in the world. I feel strongly about that.
Right.
Now, the team might not always be the best. That can, you can be. Liverpool can be better. Arsenal can be better, and that's what's happening at this moment in time. But the stadium and the training ground, you can control that. You can't really control football sometimes. You can lose games. You've got managers. You've got coaches. All those things happen. But for me, at this moment in time, at least something's happening there, which keeps me quiet on the stadium side. Because at least that will happen in a few years' time. But the football side is a massive worry.
Yeah. I do agree with Roy, though. It's like they bring in Jason Wilcox, Dan Ashworth. It's like Omar, like they build them from the top. But what about the style of play of the football? If you build a house, you don't start with a loft.
Do you know what's
you've
amazing
got
with United the last year or two? We look at it, the lack of goals.
Yeah,
About all the other problems at the club, you still think. Listen, for people even who played for other clubs, you'd still admire Man United. We admire Man City. You admire teams. You go, if people throw a team and you go Man United, you always go, well, I'd like to think they'll be entertaining, and I think they'll get goals and they'll have wingers and all that. You go, but United aren't even that.
But Roy, I think that's really easy to explain me. Three things. One, set pieces. I think they're really poor on set pieces. So that's one big way of which teams score goals. Secondly, do you have enough players in the team who've got a record of scoring goals? No, they don't. I mean, they've got Rashford, who, to be fair, has had a couple of decent seasons, and Fernandes, who had a couple of decent seasons. Other than that, no one in that front line or midfield have got a history of scoring goals. And when you haven't got that, your combinations, patterns of play are where you get chances. So when you don't have patterns of play or combinations, which, to be fair, are repetitive, you never know when to make a run in the box, so you never know when to actually, to be fair.
But that was the same last year, Gary.
So my point is, these three things contribute to the no goals. It's not like they're just having a bad run of form. These three things, they're not good enough on set pieces. They haven't got enough players in the team who score goals.
But that was the same last year.
Xerxes and Højlund don't score goals.
That's the same as last year. So we're sitting here going, what about United the last few weeks? But it's the solutions we need to sort about, because that's going to continue. That's not going to change with the international break or Christmas or January. But are they going to buy more players in January? More players again next summer? Is it just putting...
Roy,
I think
what I wanted to say, just sorry, Wayne. I wanted to say, Roy, you see with everything that's happening with United, the team they've got now, the players they've got there, if they said to you, would you come in and do an interim, would you go in and do an interim?
Who, me?
Yeah.
They're not going to be asking me.
Why wouldn't they be?
They just wouldn't. They just
Yeah,
wouldn't.
but the thing is that you look at it and you look at Man United with everything what's going on, and they need something. Everybody who I speak to and they say, "Why don't you Wright, tell Roy to go in?" People say that, Roy. I don't know if it's because no. I'm not even just blowing smoke on anything. Is it something you'd consider if they said you?
It's not going to happen, though. You don't.
Yeah, but we're not talking about is it going to. I'm asking you.
The only time you can answer a question about would you work there, would you work at Celtic, would you work at different company, is when you're asked.
Yeah, but then you're telling me that
So I don't know until someone asks me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is not a good manager or he hasn't got good coaching staff, but in the summer they change all the coaching staff. So you're on about a manager having a bit of power and control of the football club. I bet you Den Hag's like it. I bet he's got none of that. So players they look at the manager and go, well, all your staff went in the summer. I didn't see you fighting for any of them. You're bringing more staff in. I just think it looks chaotic, doesn't it?
What do you consider?
I'm not leaving you, Righty. I'm not leaving you.
I'm not trying to get rich.
Some of the changes he's making is you never see teams or top teams changing the centre backs during the game.
Oh, never.
Or the back four. I think that happens on a regular basis. And the Rashford one it's the best I've seen Rashford play for a long time against Porto.
Yeah.
And to take him off and say we've got another game at the weekend
Yeah.
at half time, I think he's absolutely crazy. We've all played Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever that is.
And he starts to look like he's in a bit of form.
So if he can't do it, then now on the international break,
I'd like to see
I guarantee you on this international break, you see videos of Rashford training with a coach away from the training ground. So if he can't do 2 games in a week,
In Dubai.
he should be rested.
Fitness coach.
Yeah.
Boy,
So that's what it'll be.
what was your real answer to not wanting the Man United job?
What's the real
That
answer?
you wouldn't take a pay cut. What do you say?
You know, we joke, but then, you know, we look at United, they're searching all over whatever it is. Roy wants to be a manager. He's always wanted to be a manager. And Man United, they can't tell me that there's at no stage is Roy not sat when he's watching, think, you know, I could manage United, I could manage United. Man United in dire straits at the moment in respects of football and the team and how the players are, everything what's going on there. It needs a character.
But not surprised, you know, when you see United, when these results, and I actually thought they'd get a result of Villa. Again, I'm not surprised when they go and kind of get a result, 0-0, whereas years ago you think United should go on Villa and enjoy it and score goals always down at Villa. But then that United team, this one, and I know people get sick of hearing it, I'm always looking at the kind of, I always visualise myself in that dressing room. What kind of dressing room is it? And when I hear players talking after a game, you always say about United when you played for them, you go, hopefully, listen, we've got a really good team, hopefully. But you'd be disgusted when we played, and we can only go from our experience. I would be disgusted if I came in after a game and I felt another team wanted it more than us.
They wouldn't do that if you was involved.
No, but the problem is, you try and make sure that never even crosses anyone's mind. That you go, today we just kind of go through the motions, our skill and talent won't be enough. No, it won't be enough. You have to... Gary, we used to say to people, listen, lads, you were there, you remind people who you are, you were Man United, remember what... And you have to bring something to the party, and that is that pressure, the expectation, but like enjoy all of that stuff. And that, again, didn't mean to say we were winning every week. There was times we won nothing, obviously, but you'd embrace that Man United, the badge, the history, the part of it, the wide players, entertainment. I know sometimes you have to sit in, and I like when teams sit in, but when you watch Man United, you're hearing people now going, it's even the Villa game at the weekend, a bit, and I hate using the word almost kind of boring, that type of scenario. You go, really?
But all those things that need to be instilled by people who were there and captains.
Well, I don't know, but
that's what needs to happen, because are we supposed to think that all of a sudden Man United are going to get a manager in and then all that's just going to click into place?
But you know, the senior players at the club, you're on about Maguire, these players have played 68 international football, played in big tournaments. You got World Cup winners, you had Veranda, lads who won the Champions League. I'd love to know what they're doing at the training ground every day. Who's pushing it? Who's getting hold of maybe the younger players who might be making mistakes? That's fine, we've all been there. Who's getting a grip of all these players?
I think, to be fair, I mean, you mentioned Harry a couple of times now. I think personally the way in which he has been, I'm going to say treated, and I'm sort of not levelling that at anybody over like a 3 or 4 year period. And I can say, having the captaincy taken off him,
he should have never got the captaincy.
He was wanted by Manchester City 5 years
I
ago.
couldn't give it.
I know, my point is though, we've brought players in who've got good reputations, who were well sought after. Everyone thought at the time was a good signing. Not just Harry, but 20 or 30 of these players. And they all have been absolutely destroyed on the job. And that's the thing that needs to stop. Even managers, to be fair.
I couldn't agree more with you, Gary.
It's become a graveyard for really good people and good players.
You know, with Man United, that's not going to stop. And I think that's down to the players, mindset. You play for Manchester United, you're going to get criticised, you're going to get praised. You see it in the news, it's constant Man United. And I just don't think
I get
players...
the criticism.
I just want them to start doing well again. I just want them to just start doing well again so we don't have to constantly talk about it.
But you're on about decision-making and managers. Harry Maguire walks into United, obviously new club for him. And the worry for me is Harry comes into the club, whatever it was playing style, he's given the captaincy. What does that say about the rest of the group? That he's just walked in. He's not even had a year or two at the club where you go, listen, he's learned what the club is about. So that was unfair on him, 100%.
That's the issue. Like, if you look at Manchester United now, and if you look at the teams from the past, which you don't want to keep going to the past, but you've got 5, 6, 7 captains in every team. You look at Man United now, I don't see one.
But even Eriksen last week, I'll go back to Eriksen, sorry. Eriksen's an experienced international player, right? Vastly experienced. So he's back in the United team the last few weeks, because I heard the manager saying he's doing really well in training. Eriksen's not going to close the gap on Liverpool and Arsenal, Man City, absolutely not. Good experience. So he's coming out after the game a couple of weeks ago, and he's actually said, no, I'm looking at him going, even if you feel that, and it has happened when you thought they wanted it more than you don't bloody say it, you fool. Yeah. Do you? But he's coming up going, they probably wanted it more than us. Someone should get a grip of it going, what are you sending them messages out about us for? We go and say with a disappointing result, but we'll bounce back next week.
But do you think them players' feelings and mindset is there? Because if you're Bruno, you're captain of Man United, I know it got overturned, you get sent off, you've got to get in them changing rooms. It's the worst feeling in the world when you get sent off, you've let your team down. He goes and does it again. Like he actually
but he shouldn't have been sent off the first game.
No,
he
I know,
sent
but
off against
still though, I'm like that should be
the second one.
Both of them were pretty harsh for me.
Yeah, the second one, he's gone for the ball and he's tried to score.
I thought he could have dived and headed that.
Yeah, so.
But I still think, would you be a bit like, right, I'm going to 100% make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he could do that, Jill, because like
even
when he went for that second one, I know his foot went high. You know what I mean? I'm saying maybe he could have went for an header, but he's not gone to do anyone.
But you're on a yellow though, do you not think?
Yeah, but he's just trying to score. He's in the box. Yeah. You know, he's just trying to score. I thought that was harsh as well.
I've got the answer. So at the start of the season, and I don't think this will have much impact, but at the start, I can't understand why he's not gone to a 3 at the back. Right, I know he might be searching for something that doesn't exist.
Are they Red Bull there? Can we get some Red Bull?
Right, seriously, if ever there was a team where you didn't have a pair of centre halves that could play together, it's that group. Now there's 6 of them there. There's Yoro, Lindelof, Maguire, Martinez, De Ligt, and there's one more.
But why don't you give a partnership a chance now?
Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans. So, but my view, Roy, is if you look at Martinez, he's perfect for like left centre back in a 3. He's just perfect for it. Harry's played in a 3 many, many times throughout his career. De Ligt's someone who I think needs other people around him. I know that you're closing your eyes.
I'm not closing my eyes. I was just thinking of Arsenal while you're talking about that. I've got to go to a positive place.
I'm just trying to think about, seriously, it's a small thing. I said at the start of the season, if ever there was a team that looked like Dalot and Mazraoui and sort of Shaw and Molasse, they all look like the wing backs, they all look like the 3 centre backs, they all look like in midfield they need protection. So that's the only thing that I have not understood why he's not gone to a 3. But anyway,
you should. Sometimes you have to ask them questions. You know, when we're speaking to him pitch side, we should say to him. Going, have you thought about going to a back 3 because obviously a change of system, change of tactics.
And maybe that's just desperation going to a 3.
I done it in the States. I was playing a back 4 and we were struggling a little bit defensively. So, and I'm like you, I hate a back 3. Just don't like it, whatever.
No, I'm not a fan of it.
But then I was looking at my players and I was thinking, you know what, my players would probably
suit it. Yeah.
So I changed it, went to a back 3, and then we started getting clean sheets.
But I hate back 3s. Let's be clear. I played 4-4-2 all my life or 4-4-1-1 all my life.
You have to be flexible as a
But
player.
if you've got that group of players there, and I think if Yoro looks like a young centre half that probably, you know, is he going to play in a 2? Martinez, I think, does he look like he'd be better in a 2? Harry's played in a 3 most of his career. De Ligt probably could play in a 3. You know, played at Ajax, good on the ball. I just look at them all and I think they're probably better in that. And then I look at the full-backs and think they're probably better going forward as well as that. It's like wing-back types. You're talking
about these players, but some of the goals they've given up in the last few weeks. What about this idea of like Martinez and these boys? You get a lot of plaudits. But what about your desire to actually defend and keep a clean sheet and stop lunging in on people and letting people run by you? Some of the goals they've given up the last few weeks, my goodness.
Terrible.
If you're on about coaching sessions if you analyse that, and they must do on a Monday to get the players in, they must look and go, your decision making for an experienced player is crazy. It's crazy. So you go back to that back 3, back 5, I couldn't care less. But that pride in going, look lads, if someone's going to score against us today, it's going to be difficult. Yeah. We're seeing the first goal against Spurs. I'm telling you, if if you stop it where they give the ball away, where Rashford can actually go and nail somebody.
Yeah.
And get the fans up off their feet and go, I'm just going to go through the centre half and put a marker down with him. But he doesn't. But if you stopped it, if you said to him, by the way, in the next 5-6 seconds, you're going to run 60, 70 yards and you're going to cross it and they're going to score with a 1-2. You go, well, no, but that's not going to happen. But that's what's happening. Yeah. It's almost madness. Players are all going, are you going to do it? No, you do it. Someone hit somebody, someone tackled somebody, and everyone's running the wrong angles. Is that down to the manager? I'm not sure. But when a player can run 50, 60 yards...
They need to hear this,
my worry, if a player can run 50, 60 yards at Old Trafford and square it, and a centre-half, by the way, and I know he can run, and the full-back's out there, and he's watching him, he's running at your goal. It's called smelling danger. Fucking you protect your goal.
The place needs a culture reset.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. The culture of the club is... When we were playing, Alex Ferguson used to always say, enjoy defending. So I was obviously an attacking player. I used to absolutely love... I remember Barcelona away, and then there was the game. It was against when we won the Club World Cup. We go to 10 men. I loved it. I was thinking this is a challenge. We're going to defend. We're going to try and keep a clean sheet, and we might nick a goal and win the game. It's exactly what happens, and you start enjoy defending. Now,
where does that come from, Wayne? Like, listen, we'll sit here all day and we talk about coaching badges. We've all played hundreds of games between us, won big trophies. We go. So I think at some stage, whatever, we've all played in teams having a difficult spell. We've all at international level. But the thing you always hang your hat on, you go back to it from your DNA, is that pride.
Yeah.
Your pride that your family are watching. You got fans who've travelled, who've paid a lot of money. That's your foundation of your career. You've obviously reached a certain level where you can pass the ball, you can score goals. We know that. But really, the stuff that keeps you going every single day is my pride. My pride from my teammates, from myself, from my family, from my team I grew up with in Ireland. But all that seems to be with this United group. It's
but where are they going to get it from, Roy? Who's going to turn around if it's not someone like yourself?
You have to find it from somewhere.
But you're the person that should be doing that. No, you should be doing that. I'm listening to it. Everything what you're going on about, who's going to do that culture resetting for them?
They've got to create something. And you know what, even when you're having a difficult time, you're on about the manager chopping and changing. Even if you look and go, I'm going to stick with this back four, certainly for the next 3 or 4 games, I'm not chopping and changing, I don't care if we're 4 up or we're 4 down. You're going to try and learn to play it together, whether it be Brucey and Pally, as if they didn't have bad days. But over the months, they get used to get a bit of chemistry. But if you're chopping and changing the back four, or you're changing centre-halves with 20 minutes to go in a game...
You can't change centre-halves. You can't change centre-halves. Honestly, your goalkeeper and your centre-halves, to be fair, as much as possible, have to remain absolutely set. And I think once you change your centre-halves all the time, or you're changing your goalkeeper, the disruption and the anxiety that creates in the team is big.
It's a good job he did against Porto.
But these things aren't going to change at United. We're going to have these same conversations the next month or two. What's going to happen is the manager will be Christmas, they get players in, an injury, we're talking about Brute. It's just chaotic at Man United. It's like a soap opera.
What you're saying there about the keeper, the keepers are so important now to how the game's played. And in the amount of time, so how many times you say keep the tempo, even if you're going across the back four, keep the ball moving quick, make them run.
Dead right.
The amount of times I've seen
just stop on the ball,
and he just stood there, and then there's no movement, there's nothing going on. It's like, even if you're passing it to your centre back, just pass it
quicker.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Skybet. Anybody upset by this Manchester City Premier League thing that's going on at the moment, where there seems to be a bit of a civil war between clubs, between City, the Premier League, City attacking the Premier League briefing against City, City briefing against the Premier League? Unsavoury, unpleasant.
I don't really get it all. So basically they're saying that they can't have these sponsorship deals, but then some clubs are having loans interest-free.
That's what this is over, yeah.
But everyone's always going to try and find a way of breaking the rules. I feel like I was listening to a radio station the other day and they spent the whole 2 hours talking about this, nothing about football, players. So it's a bit boring, really, for me.
And we any wiser after it, Jill, if you know what I mean?
No, not really.
No, it is. Sometimes
just
it's more legal
people are
stuff.
trying to find a way around getting money into the club.
Why don't we wait till all the results come out? You know, the verdicts, we've been asking for it to come to a head. There'll always be a bit of side, you know, like the sideshows.
Yeah, because they were saying that they're trying to get sponsorship deals in, but now if the owners are affiliated to these brands and stuff like that, they can't. So, but now they have, like, teams have got interest-free loans that they're using. I think it might be Arsenal, actually, one of them, isn't it?
What's that?
Like interest-free loans from Ian Wright's account.
Yeah. Listen, every law or anything that can be changed or rules, it has to be the clubs. It's the clubs that change what's going on. So I can't understand why City can't get involved with this democratic system. Why do they want it changed? And then the Premier League get a lot of stick about the fact that, you know what I mean, oh, it's the Premier League against City. You know what I mean? City have to get in line with everybody else.
Yeah, but City's argument, obviously, they're still they've done nothing wrong. They've, like, we've compared them to clubs over the last few years and they've held their hand up, but City have always said they've done nothing illegal. They've never... So we'll find out when will it come out in the next few months?
What do you think, Gary? Because I feel like you'll know more about it.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think I just look at it and think that it's just demonstrates the sort of the lack of sort of strong governance at this moment in time. Where you've got, I mean, you're right at what you say. The Premier League is the clubs. So you've got at the moment clubs against Manchester City, clubs with Manchester City. And then you've got this sort of like civil war that's been branded in the sort of media this morning. But the ruling, it's unsavoury. You've got a ruling that's come out in the last week where the Premier League are saying they've won and Manchester City are saying they've won. That's when you're into the world of politics, really. You are truly in the world of politics. Then who do you believe? I mean, it's 174 pages, apparently, the actual verdict, which you have to work through. And apparently there are parts of it which favour City, part of it which favour the Premier League. And they're both saying that obviously they won and came out on top. But it's...
But is that just one small part of the bigger,
it's a small
bigger
part
picture?
Of the bigger picture.
Right.
But it's unpleasant.
It's not part of them charges, though, isn't it, that they've lost out on a couple of big sponsorship deals because of the ruling, but then they're saying that other clubs are getting money?
This is what happens when, you know, football's gone, really, in terms of... It's about money, that's all it is.
Exactly.
And, years ago when you're watching games and you're going to games and it's just about going for the enjoyment of going. Now it's just all about money, and that's taken over, and it's a business.
For them to what? For
growing up, you've got obviously Man United's best interest at heart, and you want to see development. But now the people at the top, it's different clubs.
For them to want associated partners to be able to just sponsor and say whatever they want without saying, well, it doesn't cost that much, surely. It's crazy. You can't allow that. It'd be crazy that if you could do anything you want. That's what they want. They want to be able to just do anything.
It was stopped, wasn't it? That's what Newcastle obviously weren't allowed to do, those types of deals. So it was stopped a few years ago. But these are historic transactions, I think.
That shouldn't have happened in the first place. And this is a problem. This is the problem. We went down the road of countries owning football clubs, and then they want to do what they do. It used to be business against business. It's business against country. What chance you got? Of course they want more, because they've got more. They want to buy more. They want to put more in. They're going to try and find out any way they can to get more money into their team.
But is this not part of the charges?
I think it's all right. Coming forward now.
I think it's separate, though, this one is, to the charges,
They're coming forward, though, now. I think that it's all happening now, I think, in the next month or two. So it's going to get quite messy, I think. This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Skybet. Community question, we're going to touch on some other clubs, and we want to know who have you been impressed with most in this early part of the season?
Fulham.
7 games in.
No, I wasn't.
A player.
I was impressed with Fulham at the weekend.
Out of the rest of the clubs out of the top 6 mainly, who have you been impressed with?
Brentford are doing well. Fulham are doing well.
I was impressed with Fulham.
Forest with a steady start,
well. I think Forest have been quite impressive in what they do. I think when we see them beat Liverpool, we're like, oh my gosh. But then you look at what they're doing, especially with, is it Milinkovic?
Yeah, he's done well. Yeah.
Murillo is so good. Everybody's raving about him. He's a brilliant player at the back. Yates and Ward-Prowse in the midfield, very solid. And then wingers. And now they've got, Ramon Sosa, Jota, like Silva. They've got backup on those wings now. They've got the squad. It's starting to look. With Chris Wood up there as that focal point.
Jesus,
it's starting to look
steady on. Jesus, Forest.
It's just what I see. Just saying what I see.
Like Palace last year.
No. I'm just saying that.
Hey, what's happened to Palace? Your team? What's happened to Palace? Last year, Palace are brilliant.
No, they were doing okay, but it seems to ease off a bit. But let me finish with Forest, because at the end of the day, Forest and what they're doing, everybody took the piss out of them at the start. But they've now found where they're going, and they're steady now.
Steady.
And it looks like...
And that only cost them 350 million.
Well, you know what I mean? We've seen 600 odd million on the Man United bench. We've seen 600 odd million on the Man United bench.
So for me, I'd go Liverpool, mate.
Liverpool?
Yeah, I think with the manager coming in after Klopp, I think that was obviously big pressure, and they look more solid. I think they look I think they'll be hard.
Do you reckon it helped that he didn't get anybody in, really? I know there was...
Yeah, I think sometimes you're better, and what you're saying about
the
players playing
expectations were
together.
down a little bit, maybe. Just down a little.
I think they've got a good, solid base, haven't they? And I think...
He's come across well, the manager,
really well. Yeah, he comes across well.
That back five, to be fair, has probably played together more than, any other back five for a long time, it feels like, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You've got Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Canate, Van Dijk, and some will say Canate's not played every game, but it feels like that back five with Alisson's quite solid.
You know what? You mentioned quickly Brentford as well. You have to look at Brentford, and especially at Damsgaard.
Brilliant Brentford.
Damsgaard and that manager as well.
Yeah.
You know, Damsgaard and the way that with that 5-year deal they gave him, it looks like Jesus.
They gave who, the manager?
No. Damsgaard, the player.
Right.
Now he seems to be coming to the fore. You know, there's had a lot of injury, a lot of stuff happened to him in his first year at Brentford, getting injured and that. And then now, 2 years in, he's got his strength up, he's ready to go. We saw what he was capable in the Euros, and now you're seeing him doing his
Brentford looked like a
Brentford
well-run club,
Yeah,
Like,
the manager looks
very good. Yeah.
Manager looks
very good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with him.
My worry with Brentford is that clubs like, I think happened to Southampton a few years ago when they were brilliant for about 7 or 8 years, where they continually lost really good players and then they just kept sort of recruiting well. And then eventually it gets to a point whereby you fall over. Yeah, that's my worry. Just it's sad that you sort of get to a point where they have to recruit unbelievably well to be where they are, but they are doing. And the manager's unbelievable.
But it doesn't happen to a lot of clubs. They have their good few years in the Premier League and eventually found out, because again, the key is for them that recruitment.
Yeah. Or the coach maybe leaves, or...
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And listen, I'm surprised. Maybe the next year or two, there could be bigger clubs in for him. 100%.
I didn't even finish with just a quick one on Forest.
Forest, sorry.
See, Murillo, I love watching that centre-half. I think I want to see where he ends up, his final form.
You think so, yeah?
Yeah, I really do think he's fantastic.
And you go back to Forest as well. I know you might have mentioned him. Wood, the striker. You know, we knock these strikers and he's a bit... But he does a bloody good job, doesn't he? His record's pretty good in the Premier League, and
See, Danny Welbeck as well doing a good job now. I'm really pleased for Danny at this stage. You know, I never really watched some games where Danny's playing. He could have even scored more goals, but his contribution...
Could he go back to United, maybe?
Do you know something? I made a comment on Sunday, watching Danny Welbeck, that he's in better form than any of the United front players by far. You look at United, Danny Welbeck to me...
How do we get back on United?
You brought him back up.
Yeah, but I brought in Danny Welbeck at Brighton.
Yeah, but Danny Welbeck, to be fair, should never have been let go at United.
I don't know about that either, Gary. You can't keep saying that about players.
Roy, seriously.
Oh my God, just because he left.
Roy, if you've got a squad of 24, 23, which you have, and you want to keep 5 or 6 strikers, he's got to be one of those sort of...
You've got to keep him.
You've got to keep him.
Like Scott McTominay.
Why'd
you get rid of Scott McTominay? Why'd you get rid of Scott McTominay?
He's played with the guy, so why don't we ask him? You know what I mean? He's a fantastic...
I know, but sometimes a player, when he leaves and goes up and has a really good career, doesn't mean to say they were good enough for Man United.
No, but as a player that could be support striker...
But he probably didn't want to be... What, is he a squad player?
No, Van Gaal just wanted him out.
Right.
Yeah, but can we just mention Scott McTominay as well?
He's doing well at Napoli.
They've found a position for him. How come?
Sancho's doing okay at Chelsea.
Wow, what's going on?
Wayne, what was good about playing with Welbeck?
I can't believe it.
Well, it was good. I think one of his biggest strengths was winning the ball back, high up the pitch. He was aggressive. You go and press, and he'd win it back high up the pitch. His touch was good, and we had a real good connection in playing with him. And he was bright. He was clever with the ball. He was good to play with. He was quick.
Yeah. When you see that player come to that stage of his career, and you've got that much pace and stuff, and he's just doing that job. Danny's doing that now. I'd like to see him nick a couple more goals on.
Which of those managers from the clubs below the sort of top 6 or 8 would you say is the one that you think the top 6 would look at and think, right, we're going to bring up? You think Thomas Frank? I was asked about Thomas Frank. Do you think Thomas Frank could be someone that would be appointed?
I'd like to see him in that kind of under that kind of pressure at a big club with that, because he does seem a little bit mad professory. So he's one of those where you think to yourself, he could either go and turn into a Klopp in the way he does his stuff, or he could just... He might not have...
That's a good point, that.
I get the vibe that he's someone that can...
Brentford's good for him.
At the moment, but I just do think that there's more from it. He can do more.
Can he step up?
He's not worried about anybody. He's not disrespectful.
He deserves a chance, doesn't he?
I just think that he's that guy. Yeah, he could be the one.
Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah. I like it.
Anybody else that you hear on the great... I mean, obviously, Marco Silva's obviously...
Yeah, I think
been around a bit.
I think Silva's...
You've got to as well.
I think that goes back to as well. He's been there a few years now.
Yeah, been a few years.
He's young.
Fulham, so having that stability.
How old is he?
You know what I was going to say, Wayne? We saw what happened with Tottenham and Brighton, and at half time you go in at 2-0 down, and you're a 31-year-old manager, and Honestly,
Yeah.
I think I'd love to have known what he's saying, and being as inexperienced as he is, and going there with a Tottenham team that's battering them in respects of pressing them, working them, and in the second half,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
You know the next goal is obviously stating the obvious, right? If
The third, I went it's 3-0,
one message
yeah.
be going, lads, if you get one back, you never know, they might go a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just
Guess what happened?
But they've done that a few games, haven't they, Tottenham, where they've gone a bit in the second half. So you maybe try and hold on to that a little bit and saying to them, listen, these in second half of games, they've folded a little bit. Just stick in there. And as you
Had they
said,
played in Europe
try and
as
get
well?
the
Had
next goal.
Spurs been away that week in Europe? Was that on the back of it or something you think they might just
You
switch
said we
off?
can't use that as an excuse. You were like, the travel they get now,
No, but for a
private
manager, you're
jet.
trying to get message to your own team that they might in the second half. That's all. I'm not saying they should, Jill. Relax, you.
But can I just say, with that
were
Tottenham
drunk the other
result,
night.
right, at half time, people, of course, they're doing all their stuff about Spurs and all that stuff. But like, if I'm a manager, that one really does throw me. Because I'm watching it, I'm thinking, Spurs carrying on, this is going to be 4-5. They're going to hammer Brighton here. And then I couldn't see. I'm watching the game. I don't know what's happening. Brighton obviously stepped it up, got closer to people. They scored in a good time. But like, I didn't think I was going to see that.
Momentum, innit? Momentum.
Yeah. It was like two different games, wasn't it? I know it sounds so cliche, a game of two halves, but it really was.
It felt like, I don't know what it felt like. I don't know, I can't even say what it felt. I felt sorry for Ange watching him just stand there like that.
But I think the way he is, Vincent Kompany was the same way. He wants to play in a certain way and you're not picking results. But then I think Ange as well, sometimes the winning 2-0,
do you think just drop back
a little bit? Like, try to be harder to score against, be harder to give chances up, and they maybe come away and win that game.
He doesn't like to change, though, does he?
But the thing is that
you have to adapt. You have to change.
Maybe even
in games,
just
the game.
For 5 minutes, right? Just 5 minutes.
If you're 2-0 down at half time, you know that Brighton are going to come out with something different. They have to.
They have to come.
So you have to be ready for that. You have to adapt. You have to be ready to change, and you might go back to a back five towards the end of the game if you win them, but
you love that one to there, lads. Back five fixes everything.
Yeah, but you need to adapt.
Let's go to a back five.
Yeah, but sometimes you only need a 5
We
10
played the
minute
back
spell.
six.
A 5 10
with
minute
Mourinho.
spell in a game when it's going like that, where Tony Adams is brilliant.
Back
At
six
that.
against Chelsea.
Away from home, Tony Adams would
Feeling
always
Gary at
recognise
right
when it's
back.
not quite right, and we have to I think
Tie him.
yeah, that's.
But Andrew's going in at half time, probably thinking, let's get 3-4, isn't he? He's not thinking, let's protect the 2. So.
Well, the end of another episode is here.
Thank God for that.
Thanks for that. See you later, Jill.
See ya.